everyone, this is Zaza.
I'm Fix.
Welcome to
The Walk.
Yes. Today we are walking in relationship with my guy, and oh my goodness, I've got my people in here.
Village
Say hi, guys.
Yes.
We are talking about the relationship. Hey, we're getting down with relationship. Hey, we are John. You have somebody with you. We want to know.
Who was cheating?
So yeah, guys, we're just gonna get general, really. So let's talk, guys. Relationship. Hey, it's another thing that you need to nurture. You need to feed. Aibo, I need to tell you about the danger, guys.
Aibo.
Anybody that would like to go, please. Let's go on. Relationship. What are we on about when we on about relationship? Because it's not something easy. Mm-hmm. It's something that needs your whole. It's like it takes you. It can take you. You can go down because of relationship, and you can go up because of relationship, depending whether you are with the right person. Yeah, we've been in those places. We all have been. We've been young. We've been whatever. But now where are we? Sleep. I was telling them.
As a married person.
Musli is married, guys.
Just take care.
So she's doing something right. She's making sure the ring is there.
No, relationships are, guys, I'll just be very honest. Relationships are difficult. Relationships need you to put in the work. I remember when I got married, my grandmother used to say, the wedding is easy, but the marriage needs work.
Yeah.
Relationships need work. It means you need to involve God. I feel you need to involve God in every single thing you do, from planning to every single thing. Because again, relationships are not just about yourself as Usli. It's about my husband, his culture, his background. He comes with me into this journey of a relationship, and he comes in with his culture and with his differences, and it's a lot of work. And in me saying that, it means I've had to compromise. I've had to be vulnerable. I've had to be naked in front of him and be truly myself, and be in a state of what are we doing, how are we doing, you know what I mean, and just completely be me in front of him. And when I talk about relationships, guys, I can go on and on and on, but the very thing that stands in our relationship is God Himself.
Amen.
And it's everything else, but when I just peel it back, it's always God.
Yeah.
And if I have to be very honest, it's meant that I've had to be asleep. Like you see me right now, I'm dressed, right? I'm dressed. I'm all dressed, and I'm beautiful. I've got the glasses on. I've got the. It's meant I've had to take the headband off when I'm in front of my husband.
Don't take everything
I've
off.
taken the glasses off.
Hey, you want to see a book?
You get the picture. Don't know.
Get the picture. I'm getting naked.
Yes, I mean, it's meant I've had to be completely vulnerable, and I've taken everything off, and I'm like, this is me. Do you take me as I am, or do you not? And He's always taken me. He's always taken me. Oh, I got this of the headband, of the foundation.
1 point for the men.
And of the shirt that I've put on, of the bag. He's taken me, and He always chooses me, regardless of everything else. It's always me.
Wow.
So I don't know if it makes sense that when I say it's about God and it's about Him choosing me, regardless of whatever season I'm on, I can be through winter, spring, summer, autumn, and He'll always choose me.
Yes!
I'm not saying that he's a wow.
I'm already looking for a Bible right now.
But He will always choose
This
me.
is big to teach pushing.
For me,
Wow.
that's a relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh, you wouldn't have painted it for us, Nganwami. Who's choosing me? I'm still looking. Who's choosing me?
Who's the chosen one?
As well. I know. Everything to be you. I love that, baby. When you sum that up, even to say that it starts with God. Because anything we do, it starts with God. And when you put God at the beginning of it all, everything just flows. Everything goes. Yes, it can be difficult. Yes, it can be challenging. But with God, nothing is challenging. And nothing is difficult. So, who's
But
next?
the choosers, we need to find out from the choosers, Galok. How do they get to the choosing? What is the thought when it comes to choosing? Seth, in terms of
what?
choosing Galok, the person.
Yeah, you need to be hot and I don't have
Are you the chosen one? We need to find out from the choosers. Whether you're the chosen one, you get to decide from the choosing people.
How do you choose? Tell us how do you choose, Bobo?
How do I choose? The interview is a rigorous process. The interview is a
And
rigorous
this is
process.
an important one.
No, I mean it's difficult trying to choose because obviously for us, as they say, there's plenty of fish in the sea. But how do you know it's the right? How do you know it's the right one? How do you know it's the right one? No, it's not even that. How do you find the right one for you?
Plenty fish
Because obviously, like
in the sea.
in the sea.
18-year-old.
So you say women are fish.
Huh?
Hey, what she's
It's not it is not my saying, guys. I don't own the saying. I said as they say. I don't know who they are, but they say it, so I'm just quoting.
So when we are choosing you want somebody who's like what?
No, for me, attraction is the biggest thing. So I have to be attracted to you for me to choose you first of all.
the same way you guys get to decide. But yes.
That's true. But yeah, so it's first of all it's attraction, and then secondly, like as I've found, because I've dated. So I've met people who culturally we didn't like there was a clash, you know, like where I'm hearing someone swearing at their mother like big FU words, and I'm there looking like, hey, if this was me, hey, I wish I had the mother to even potentially say FU too. But culturally I said no, that's not for me. So now my criteria now has changed, and it's ever changing. Like even in a relationship, when I've been in them, it's not easy. Like every day you are learning something. Like firstly I used to think getting the girl was the hard part, but no, getting the girl's the easy part. It's keeping the girl that's the hard part.
Oh, that's very true.
You know,
That's very
because as guys we come in so high with so many promises that okay, now that I've chose you, I want to marry you, I'm gonna buy you the cars, you won't want for anything. Then you get the girl. Now you stay all day in your underpants, you don't want to cook, you don't want to, you know, like but that's like things you learn through time, you know, and obviously those are personal learnings where I do it. It's like, personally I'm the person who likes to chase. I like to chase. Once I've chased, I think I do get a bit complacent because, okay, I've got you now. So you will always be there. Exactly, you know, like expectations. And then also managing the other person's expectations because I've started so high. Like I've taken you out, I've taken you to the best restaurant, I've come in the car, you know, and you've seen the nice lifestyle, and now we're dating, and it's like finding that time and also doing things where the value is different. Because I took you to Nando's on the first date, now you don't want to go and eat at Chicken Palace because I've set the bar so high.
Which they should be using, by the way. We want a budget. They should be a Chicken Palace.
You tell me to Nando's, it must stay there. You don't tell me to leave McDonald's.
Level up, not to go.
Yeah, not to go down.
So now they want to go to Royal.
That's how you start with McDonald's.
You know, like Italian cuisine.
Yeah.
They want to be doing, you know, the Caribbean cuisine.
They leave the Caribbean cuisine, they want to go to the Shard.
Yeah.
While you're still on Chicken Palace money. So I think it's important. Like, so for me, I'm learning to set the expectation better and not oversell, but also be, as Slee said, be not so much vulnerable but open. So I'll tell you, okay, I like to do nice things. I want to do nice things for you, but it's not every day. We've got to plan it. So if we want to go to the Shard, it might take 3 months, it might take 6. I don't know what your pocket is like, but everyone's at a different stage, if that makes sense. But everything takes planning. So I think as guys, we have to understand that. But when it comes to choosing, mostly it is, can you hold a conversation? You are attractive, but do you know how to dress to your body? What are your manners like? What are your values like? You know? And obviously, as Lee also covered, put God first. But it's not easy because a lot of people in this climate, cultural climate, don't even know God. Some are atheists. Some don't even, like they've grown up away from church. You know? So it doesn't matter what culture you're from, but if you don't have a relationship or if your family's never been that close, then how do you build on that? And that's where it becomes difficult because my family is God-fearing, but what if your partner isn't God-fearing? So now your values
So
are
you're
up here.
having to be using
Exactly, and then you're having to lower your values because you don't want to make them feel insignificant. You know.
I think it's a personal question to you then. Then, in terms of, would you consider then someone who does not have an understanding of God or?
It depends on how open they are to learning.
Yeah.
Because you let's say for example, the case of racism. Speaking to a white person about racism is irrelevant because they can never see from our standpoint, right? But God isn't that black and white, right? Well, people sneeze and they say bless you. Why do you say bless you if you don't believe in God? Are you open enough to learn? Do you want to learn my culture? Which is what Slee said. As she met her partner, she learned about his cultural background. She tried to understand him more so they can build on that better, right? So I feel like if I met somebody who was that open to learning about my culture, I'm not saying you have to be Christian, but are you willing to learn?
Yeah. You know? Amen. Love that. Yeah. Oh, wow.
But I don't think with Usli they had different cultures.
No. But what I'm saying is, Usli and her husband are maybe different cultures. They might be the same clan but different cultures.
Yeah.
They've grown up to different values. So you've got to combine because you have to raise the kids a certain way, right? So now if somebody who isn't a Christian or even an atheist, let's say they don't believe at all, let's say they believe in science, if they're willing to come and meet you halfway to learn a little bit about what, so at least when they are around your people, I'm not saying someone can't have it, because it's okay to be different. Don't get me wrong, it's okay to be different. I can bring you to my family and you can say, I don't believe in God, but this is why. If I understand your why, then I think we can work from that.
That is very powerful.
Yeah, for me, I want to talk about healing in relationships. That
oh gosh, I just got healed. I got healed immediately.
That's very powerful, guys. Because we are healing in relationships still.
so
Damn girls.
we go. Let me say you find a boy or a man that you are attracted to, but you yourself you are damaged either in a family or something else. That man can be a man for you, but because you are not healed, you are going into that relationship broken. So every time because you are going into that like thinking, I want him to love me, I want him to do this, I want to do that. But because you're not doing those things to yourself, and that's why they say, love yourself first. Take yourself out. You know, buy nice things for yourself. Don't expect to go in that relationship and say, oh, I want him to buy me this, I want him to that. When you go in that relationship, he should see that, oh, she likes to buy this, she likes to this, and then he can add on that, instead of you going in there expecting that person to do all those things, to do all those things for you, because that's why some people say, oh, she's so high maintenance. No, you find me high maintenance if you can't.
Your high maintenance,
the door. So people go in the relationship like, oh, he's not loving me, but do you love yourself? Or he's not doing this for me, did you do that yourself? That's why I said, do things for yourself first, and then that person can see that this person is like this. They will take you the way you are instead of and sometimes that's all I have. Like,
that's very powerful.
Yeah.
Healing is very important. I'm a divorcee, guys. I was married before, and Kamla Shomlun. Get to them, look what's left. So what I'm trying to say is I was in a relationship and my relationship was good with my guy. I'm going back to that cultural differences. That thing can kill a relationship. The understanding of understand umuntu. You know, you could strip yourself like Kusili had said, but you could try and be like this, but this, like this. But cultural differences plays a big part. Coming back to Uros about healing. I divorced the guys. I don't know. It felt like the end. Like I go, did I really get married? I don't know, because it's not like I wanted to stay in the relationship. I wanted the divorce, but it felt like, what am I doing? Am I really gonna divorce this guy? And then what am I gonna do with myself? And I stayed in a relationship because I was thinking, if I move, where am I gonna go? I stayed in there because I'm thinking everything will change or something like that. So there's a child here. So if I say I'm moving, where am I going? Where am I going to start? I'm in this country and I'm all by myself. My mother is not here. Who's gonna say, let me take Usizo or anything like that? I am all by myself. So sometimes you stay because of that thing that, where do I go? Yeah, but I got to the point where I thought I had to choose me. I had to choose me staying in this relationship. What good is it for me? I'm not happy in this relationship. I look at the person and I'm thinking, this is empty. Is this the life I want to be living? Is this where I want to be sitting 5 years time or 10 years time or 20 years time to be saying, oh, I'm in love, but there is no love that I'm feeling? I said, no. I couldn't do that. So I had to sort of go through with the whole divorce things and stuff like that. Going back to healing, babe, oh my gosh, it felt like I was crushed. I didn't want the relationship, but I felt like I was crushed because I had done the divorce as well. I couldn't, I was trying to work around it, but I couldn't. But like we did, me and my girl here, we were having fun. You become divorced, you have a party.
Yeah.
You enjoy. We had fun, and that thing healed me. It healed me because I got back and I was like, this is me. This is who Zaza is. I had lost myself in that relationship. Trying to figure myself out. My husband, my work. My husband, my work. My life was just around there. You know, but Zaza was not having fun. Zaza was not taking her time to say, oh, I want this for myself. I want this for myself. But that gave me time to heal. I enjoyed even any relationship that was like, hey, I don't want anything next to me. Because
you start to know yourself.
Yeah, you start to fall in love with yourself. When you are walking, you're walking the talk. So when Mr. Omaro met me, I was the itch. What are you thinking? Think about your life. Yeah, he's thinking about his girl when he met his girl.
Which girl?
Feed us.
You finished now, you're dropping it.
I'm done.
This girl's dropping bombs on me.
Tell us, mommy.
We'll skip it for now. Personally, now I just want, obviously we're all here, but I want to understand bitterness, of which I feel in my relationships, I am still bitter with both relationships that I've been into. First of all, I came into this country. The years that I came here, we were quite lonely, miserable, not having obviously people from your country, communication different countries. And I thought, getting somebody who's like, oh, I can speak your language, we can speak the same language, and they were like, it's my neighborhood, we speak the same language, we eat the same food. You thought you built that relationship, you're going to, oh, I can cook and then we eat the same thing, we enjoy, So you build that relationship by I feel safe around this person. This person is the person who's always around me, who understands. But if I go to MoneyGram, now you are MoneyGram, you know. No, exactly. You know, as that I'm talking about 18 years ago, you know what I mean? We were talking of MoneyGram at that time. But when I'm working MoneyGram, you know, so we speak the same, the seven, whatever. So we used to ship. Seven. You know, we speak the same language. Yeah. And you'll be like, oh, do you know what? This is the person I can actually be with. You know, the reason, I'll be honest with you, I'm a married woman. I never go through a lot of divorce. But what I'm saying is I was married as well. But I was married to a person that I was really close to in that sense because I was lonely. I didn't have anyone.
So you had to fit yourself.
Yes, I had to fit myself because I was living in a community whereby I was the only South African amongst the Zimbabweans. And to be honest, they treated me very well. I cannot fail them for any. That's why I still love them till today. I was fitting very well and I thought, this is my soulmate, you know. And to be honest, at a later stage, that is when you realize in Yogubana, you know what? This was not about love. But it was only about you feeling that comfort and being welcomed. You know, and unfortunately, the child is already there.
The child is already born.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you feel like you are stuck.
Exactly. To be honest with you, family welcomed me. He was over the moon. Everybody, friends and relatives were over the moon. But now when the reality hits, when you are lying in that bed on your own, it's knowing the truth. But no, man, this is not the man for me. You know, it's only Uguti, I felt that comfort because I was just all by myself. I'm talking about 2003 when I was probably the only South African in the what do they call the
Refugees?
No, did you go the barras? Yes, in the barra. Until it was a barra up and as far as yes, you find until it was a barra and it's up no provinces. So I felt I was the only South African like in a barra.
Counties,
county, that's the word, yes. So Uban Guti, you know, when you look at someone, you're like, Jesus, why not? You know. And Yazi, it's so unfortunate. A child is a blessing. And that's number one. A child is a blessing. No matter the child is a blessing. And I did not realize in my life in Yogbana, when the child came, everything went well, the family, everything. They came from Zimbabwe and everything. But looking back, and the only thing that you have to remember, when you are on your own, you know the truth. And it comes, you reflect when you are just on your own. Because we are away to Konba. This beautiful child, this is your blood, and we are mtanda lumdana. Do you know what I mean? But is this really what I wanted to do? Do you know what I mean? So what I'm saying, we stayed, and you know you stay, and that you work on it, because we meet people without knowing what, you know, something will go on. You end up loving each other. What love builds, we don't know. And then, you know, I worked on it, and it did work. You know, I thought, I'm happy now. There it comes now, the reality. You get into that, and you know, even forget about, this person, it was not really the person that I wanted to be with. But and then but now, when things happen, a little thing, what I mean is a little thing would happen. Do you understand? But Ingondo Yako will go back.
how I met this person. The thoughts that I had with this person, I think that's where bitterness comes from. Because we are sola in Esposa, I don't know. Yes.
You feel sorry for yourself.
We are sola. Uti, you know what? I wish I didn't.
Regret, it's like regret.
Yes, you regret. And then Ucho Uti. So I think I live in a world, that's what people they think, I'm bitter. But I don't think I have any bitterness. But I have this thing, you know what? If I didn't do that, this wouldn't have happened. And I hold on to that.
So you hold it.
Yes, I'm so sorry to say. Yes, and it's unfortunate that it delays my kind of way to move on in life. Because in my first relationship, it took me about 6 to 7 years to move on. And even my relationship right now. Okay.
No, I just wanted to ask this question, and I think it's really for everyone, because I think it's a mainstream question, and it relates to every gender that is how do you set the standards to ensure that you don't find yourself in a position where everyone has an ideal person in terms of saying, but this is the certain person that I would want to move with.
Yes.
To say about this is this is who I want to marry. And I'm not saying everyone has lowered their standard or anything like that, but everyone has an ideal person, but this is who I want to marry. And they have an idea of the type of person they are, the character, how they're gonna treat them, how they're gonna do things. But we do find ourselves in situations, whether it is marriage, whether it's whatever.
I've got an answer for you. At that time, I'll talk about myself as an individual. At that time, it was a loneliness. At that time, that I decided to take the decision of marriage. I was lonely. And there were very few people that are from my country. I was really I was lonely. That was the loneliness. And I thought, you know what? If I don't marry this man, who am I going to be with around? I didn't have anyone in this country.
Can I just add to it? I think sometimes in life people get into relationships for something. And when you get into a relationship, whether you are getting in for either loneliness or to cover a lost relationship, you are healing. You try to heal through having another relationship. So I think it's sort of like copy and paste. And then you want. So people, I think relationships, or some people they go in for financial reasons or peer pressure or else. For us girls, sometimes it's because my girls they have got men and me I don't have a man, so I really need to have a man and get married. So sometimes people get into a relationship because of
it's a point because I think I was vulnerable at that time because I was coming from a home from a broken relationship and getting somebody who's actually close to kind of seem to be understanding what you've been through and living in my neighborhood country, because the only thing that I was scared of when I came to this country is Nigeria, Ghana, and a very far country. But when the person said, I'm from Zimbabwe, I was like, yes, I kind of felt you know what I mean?
So, would you say, when you saw the kid was there, because from what you said before, I assume you got married after the kid, right? So, would you say, like example, my sister had a similar situation, but you say you stayed with that person because in our culture, obviously times have changed now, but in our culture, people stay together for the sake of the kids because you want to raise your kids in a home that's together, right? So, for example, my sister called me one time and she said, hey, this man doesn't want to move to this place, which is better for our kids because the schooling there is much better, right? So I said to her, so what is the problem? You can take your kids he can stay with his family if they are that close. And if he doesn't want to follow you, leave him. No, but I don't want to raise my kids. No, but your kids are not happy if you stay there because you aren't happy. Your kids is going to be toxic. You know, there's always going to be infighting. So I feel like having seen it, and I feel like there's a lot of situations where you go to people's houses and you see people are like, this isn't the love that they speak of, because obviously all our, like most men have this, weddings aren't really for us, but we have this thing where we want to meet someone, we want to have a happily ever after, but what we don't understand is that happily ever after you have to keep working on day after day, like every day resets. So it doesn't matter how good you are yesterday, tomorrow is a new day. You know? So I feel like
you nurture it.
Yeah, so going back to what Norma said about being in relationships for a reason, not because you love someone. Through dating, I've met a lot of people who they just wanted something. So for example, as Zaza has said in previous things, that when you go out in town, as I promote in town, so if I know you and we close like that, you don't queue. I'll get you in somehow. Some people will see that, and because of that, now they want a relationship, right? You know?
When you have a boyfriend, now they're using you.
So now that's where you as a person have to understand your own values and notice, because people are very good at adapting to a situation. Someone can show you they love you when they're with you. But then when they are away from you, even a hello, good morning is difficult. You know?
So the point that I was trying to get is most of the people that are around me, they think I'm better in relationships. In terms of like, as I'm saying that I've stayed for about 7 years before moving on to the next relationship after marriage and child. And with me, to be honest, I think I'm that person who I go all out, and when I get so disappointed, I end up hating. That is me. I mean, I cannot pretend, you know, because I go all out, and whatever I do, I make sure that I go 100%. So I don't understand why you're not giving it back to me. So that's why I kind of always wanted to know when people call me that I'm bitter, why wouldn't you be bitter when you've been through all this? I'm talking about the situations whereby I had a child, have to work 6 weeks round the clock, and the man is staying at home. I am buying a car, I am paying rent, I am, giving all my salary to, and you think, I'm only human. So the only thing I want to know when it comes to a relationship with everyone, to understand where the bitterness comes. I am bitter because I worked so much, I sacrificed not to stay, I hired au pairs out of the country to pay to stay with my child, and the person would just decide to cheat.
I think
So
what I think about, for anyone to have a relationship, as Rose said, it's about healing. It's a process that you have to go through, and whenever you have a relationship, mostly said it's not an easy thing to have a relationship. That other person now on a broken heart, it's about you working.
Do you understand that bit you are better? Because I'm called a better woman.
That's why we're saying it's a process that you have to go through to heal.
I'm talking about over 10 years now. But I am still angry.
Is it,
But you haven't healed.
You haven't healed from it. So that means that it's still staying. It's still there. That's why I haven't done any what you need. Sometimes it's therapy.
I've been through therapies. I've been through my family reunions and talks between the families. But what I'm saying, we are human, guys. We don't. I believe in Yoba. We should not. Ukuthi sibelieve into yokuba xa uthetha nomnye umuntu laa mntu could not understand ii-feelings zakho, uzifundile yena encwadini, but nguwe umntu over entliziyweni. Do you understand? I mean, i-bitterness kulapho ndifuna ukwazi ukuthi That's why we are bitter.
I think the most important thing to do in a sport as a person, if you want to go into a relationship, you should start solely on yourself.
Fresh.
Start with yourself. Have a relationship with yourself. Take yourself out. Ne? Have a relationship with yourself, like surprising yourself with flowers. I know it sounds crazy. Yes, it sounds crazy. It sounds ridiculous. But start with yourself first. Have expectations on yourself, first. Do things with yourself first before you expect that onto somebody
And that
else.
allows you then.
That allows you to have boundaries onto somebody else because you've already set them for yourself.
There's
You've
nothing
done
I
that
did
on
not
yourself
do.
first.
Now there was a year, you remember, when I was traveling the world. You know that. There's nothing that I didn't do to make myself happy. But essentially, you remember, I used to, like, there was a time whereby I would travel like 3-4 times a year, going everywhere I want to go and have fun.
I don't think it's about traveling.
No, it's not. No. We have Uti do things that are gonna not just buying myself flowers. No.
It's different. It's different.
Can we really hear what Unaloga
It's very
said?
different.
It's deeper than trying to feel good. It's not about feeling good. It's not about making yourself be right. It's about really knowing deeply who you are. Regardless of ever you even have an ability to go to a trip or you don't have an
That's what I'm saying. I know who I am, but I probably think maybe in anger.
Can I?
Because to be honest with you, that's how it's been said in Yogbana. You are bitter.
You know.
I mean, there is no way that you wouldn't be bitter.
I think, Swasha, a lot of people, especially who've had broken relationships, if we talk deeper about them,
And be real.
it really hurts. Like if I tell you one day I had a guy who he took my money one boy, another woman, and a child. But I've never I've dealt with it. I had other people who could help me to heal. I healed myself. I had to heal. And not necessarily find other people could be there, but we are all bitter to a degree. But how do you work on it? Usli is talking about flowers. It's not like a symbol of surprising yourself, but it's things that you have to heal. Be happy about yourself. I remember one day Fix, when I had my breakdown as well, Fix had to say, you need to glow. You need your heart to glow for another person to be attracted to you. If you are dark in your heart, if your heart is dark, you won't attract anyone. Anybody who would come, you'll see faults and you'll never give chance. You'll never be happy. Even a little thing with relationship, you have to compromise. For you, compromise won't work because you compromised last time somebody took you for a fool. So it's more than just buying flowers. It's about you letting go.
If I can add to what Noma's saying, so with me, everyone can attest here that I'm the nicest person you'll ever meet, which extends to relationships. So we all know that you can't always be saying yes because it's never gonna work, right? So for me, like you, I've had people where I've done everything for, but it still didn't work. Why? Because first of all, people don't want someone just to say yes all the time because you want peace. If it's a matter you have to say no, you have to say no. But what I had to do to heal from all those occasions where I was like, why do I keep getting used? And I was always angry to the point where I was just not into any mindful relationship. So what I had to do was I had to look myself in the face and self-reflect as to what happened to lead to this point. And I dealt with each of those situations, and it's not easy. Because you have to be honest with yourself. You don't have to involve people. I don't like showing people my weakness. So I'm not gonna call you guys to say, hey, this girl has left me and this is why, right? So you have to find the time for yourself where you can keep your days going and you work on one thing at a time. But the importance is find out for yourself where the anger comes from. Right? So look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, this is what I did, this is what I got back. So if the issue is the fact that he didn't reciprocate the energy, then you have to work on yourself to say, okay, this is how much energy I will give, but this is where I will stop if it's not being returned. So you have to identify, and like Slee said, you got to add boundaries, right? But you have to work on that yourself, you have to be honest with yourself, so you can, like Norma said, let go. Because if you don't let go, you can never, like Fix even said, you can't grow if you're still reminiscing about somebody in the past. The fact that you are still holding anger, it means you haven't forgiven them. Right? So you haven't forgiven them. So you have to work on yourself as to what you haven't forgiven. We don't know, and I'm not going to ask you what happened
That
for you
is
to
the
be
thing.
that way.
I mean,
That makes sense.
when there's a child involved in this ileguza, we are gonna uti. You have to move on. When there's a child, you cannot move on. When there's still, because you will always come across.
You always see that person.
Yeah, but you can never.
But it differs, kind of, the relationship changes the minute it lands. There's a difference between a person you're sleeping with and a person who's the father of your child.
Yeah, they can move on.
So
it's
it's sort of like a relationship that I can have with Uzaza. It doesn't mean that it has to be sexual, doesn't mean that it has to be engaging.
That's what I'm saying. We're not talking about sexual. If when I was talking,
but there's no
the
that emotion.
But when there's a child,
that space of that emotion. It doesn't come from the fact that you have a child with the person.
No.
Like, I'm not emotional to the person because I have a child with them. No. I'm emotional because the person broke my heart. So that means it has nothing to do with the child. Just because I drag the child to put the
there
child
is still can fix. Somebody can still want to break your heart. More especially, we're talking about the children who are still underage. Because umntana underage, usegba phansi kwakho as a mother. You understand? And someone still want to fix you.
It's different.
That's still breaking your heart.
No.
Do you understand?
Yeah,
But when you say fix, what do you mean by fix?
I think what you're talking about, there's two different relationships. When I'm talking about, when people have got a relationship and they break up, you always fight up until to a point where you get to a point where you are okay with things. So what you're talking about is that breaking your relationship.
No, but if it's never okay with the thing, that's the thing. Uti when it comes to a point whereby things are okay, if they've never been okay.
But sometimes people don't ever be okay, but it doesn't mean we're not.
That's what I'm saying.
Have to hold on to that.
No, it's not about holding on. It's not about me. What I'm saying, we are talking about two parties here. You understand? It's not about me. Me, I know I've got my own angers, but there's this. Everything, like anything we're doing, it has to baspinde. Do you understand? That is the problem. And we're talking about abantwana, not ukuthi we're talking about adults, whether they do what they want.
I think Smosh, like your story, to be quite fair, it teaches us as well, Wuti, in a relationship, healing has to take place. Healing has to be acknowledged. The best thing about your journey, I'll call it your journey and your season, is that the healing part has to take place. The reflection part has to take place. Like when there's two people in a relationship, no two are perfect. He's got his fault, you've got your faults, and the healing obviously has to take place. Yeah. And the beauty of it, you've got a beautiful bambino in the picture, but the healing has to take place, and the reflection as well. I mean, nobody is perfect. You've got your faults, and if we had to bring somebody in it as well, they'd have their part to share.
And the thing with the relationship, there will always be. As human beings, we will hate each other at some point.
And that's the beauty of relationships, that we heal. We learn, we evolve, we change, we hurt. The pain changes us to become better people. But we change. That's the thing.
And also to see the difference, and also to see the difference on the other person. Because if everything is just lovey-dovey, you will never see. You never see the other side. And then something happens.
You know, to be honest,
I just want to check if anybody else wants to add anything. Do you want to add anything? It's like.
Actually, I feel like I'm the youngest in the room. Basically, I'm just learning advice from you. I still have a lot to go through. I went through a lot. I've learned so much. The only advice I have for you guys is, it's not easy. Both parties, We got to learn to understand the process of healing. We got to learn to understanding of moving on. Especially I've had her, it took her quite a while to heal.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and it goes through so much pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly men. Like women don't notice when men go through pain.
No,
we don't
men are strong.
Yeah, we don't. No.
Men
We actually go through most pain.
Yeah,
we just
you do.
don't express ourselves.
You do.
Men do go through pain.
I agree with that.
We do go through pain.
Wow,
100%.
we can open a page on that. Whole chapter.
Yeah.
It's true, and this is, I think, what is going on now. We find a lot of men, especially black men, committing suicide.
Yeah.
Because it feels like they cannot speak. Because everything, you can't even report it, you can't even say this. You go to the police station and say you have been abused by your wife, they laugh until they can.
They will laugh at you.
Because they are thinking, how can you be abused by your wife?
You are weak and
You are weak or what? What's wrong with you? You don't even look like, oh, what's wrong with you? How can you know you can't even report it? Because so they die in silence, trying to make it work. And yeah, it's true. What you are saying is very true. It's like it's very powerful. But I'd like to say, I mean, you are amazing. He is a father of two, and he always makes sure he is here for his children, despite the relationship he has with the mother. But that's amazing. Keep it up, because we don't find daddies and men like you everywhere. So keep it up, man.
And he's telling us he's younger than us.
I love it. You are younger than us. You are younger than us. But what you are doing is honestly, it's massive, it's big. Because most daddies, they just go out of the door, they don't even give a damn. But for you to go all from Namibia to come here to see your children, I'm telling you, you see that I put the head down first. I put the head down first.
That's amazing.
So yes, relationship is finished. We are gonna continue talking about men who are not listening.
No, but the thing is, I think. You know, one of the biggest things, and I've been on a deep research on this. You know, through my studies, in terms of we miss the part where we really have the vision, and then what comes out of that vision we had. So settling outside of that vision we had, because we don't believe that that vision exists. And so we go through all of these pains because we've settled outside of the vision that we've already had before. Because we don't believe that simple thing that we had about this man has to be this. Sorry guys, I just chose you guys because we are full of women here, but it operates vice versa. But this man has to be this man, and yes, we are very reasonable in terms of our vision, because our vision is simple in terms of this is what I'm trying to accomplish, this is who I want to be with me when I'm accomplishing this. That's simple. Now we get this man who's doing this, watching, and you have to smile in front of your friends and all of that. Oh, so-and-so is thinking this to me. So now you have to work things out to be in this relationship. And then now you are gathering everyone to be on board on something that you know for yourself. This is not what I envision. And so now when it's painful, you say, men are like this. No. You, first of all, broke the same vision that you had entering into a space, because you settled for something that you yourself did not believe in. And I think that's where we need to go moving ourselves.
I think as well, when you grow up, you've got this thing of in your head, you're supposed to love your person every day. There are days I don't love my husband.
Yeah, no, that's not. That thing happens.
Go and jump off a cliff. In my head, I'm like, go jump off a cliff. I don't even care about you. But the thing is, because he keeps choosing each and every day to be with me, and he chooses me, regardless of what my shit is,
whether you are not there,
there are days when I'm like, oh blah blah blah, when I'm like, oh blah 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 blah. I can give him all the crap that you can think about, but he chooses each and every day. That man,
that's very powerful.
But John, there's a difference to what you say.
But you say as well, The problem is sometimes we put so much expectations on our partners, because my neighbor will tell me, oh, my partner bought me a Lamborghini, and I'm not thinking, oh, my husband comes to buy me a
What are you
Lamborghini
doing
now. Hey, because my partner is...
The reason why I'm saying this is
What are you doing here?
what you say. To what I'm just going to say that there's a difference too. My partner hasn't arrived for 14 days. He's went with someone else, and I'm sitting here with you. My partner has not. You are clear about certain things where no. It's been emotional in terms of things. Oh, this man is really disrespecting you. There's a difference between emotion in terms of you are in the right relationship.
Yes, it is relationships. I'll go back one point. Gas Uguti, for me, I think I'll talk about myself. When I came, the way we were brought up to stick with our own.
Yeah.
And when you look for people, you look for people of your own. So it's very scary to go out and meet up in Nigeria and all that. So we always think meeting with people of our own, we feel safe. We usually feel
we know
safe.
what we're all about,
You know
what we're talking about.
You know that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a perfect match. It doesn't necessarily. But going back to your point, Fitsuti, relationships, sometimes you get in with someone and you really love that person, and even those red marks you can see there, the red prints are wrong.
But then the blame is on you.
But you've fallen in love. And unfortunately, that other person is not falling in love with you. So, and then in the end, that's why we find men saying, oh, women are forcing us to marry me. And we're asking, when are you marrying me? When are you buying this? Because we've fallen in love. But whereas that man has not fallen in love. And then in the end, they end up that man getting married to you. And it's never really going to work. Because the two of you are not really a perfect match. But you've fallen in love.
And you've entered into a sign that you clearly saw but
it wasn't going to work.
Yes, you've heard. They say in relationship they say relationship that please leave to me, she doesn't want to talk. And now we are going to finish it off. Yeah?
Yes.
We still want to talk about relationship anyways, but thank you guys for joining us. Say bye everybody. That's all for today. We had a great time this evening.
Yes, we did. So please subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe, give us your
thumbs up and comment. We would really love to hear what you guys think about the topics, the episode, and if there's anything that you'd like us to add. Yes. So hope to see you soon on our next episode.
Oh yeah.
Bye.